Hello, everyone,
The rating.
and welcome
Initiating defense sequence.
to our episode 10 recap of our Dungeons and Dragons campaign. Roll with it. Miss Light, how are you today?
I'm doing just dandy.
Let me just arrange those pictures before I
Oh no.
before it starts giving me anxiety. Thank you for the raid, Neffy. How's everyone doing today? You are sleepy, isn't that right?
Maybe. I don't know what you're talking about.
Right. Well,
Look, it's raining outside.
yeah.
Nice and dark.
Does it snow where you live?
Not where I live, up in the mountains, yeah.
Yeah. I'm ready for snow. I thought that we were about to get some, but perhaps not. Maybe in December.
Over here we're having this called bomb cyclone. I don't know why they call it bomb.
Oh, and that's
Yeah.
trainings?
Yeah, so we get like the cold. It's like the cold rain and stuff, so might be a chance that we'll have snow, maybe
If
not.
it gets cold enough. Does it ever hit like 30s and below?
Yeah, it does.
Oh.
But we don't get the snow. I mean, it's weird because we have more of the warm air version.
Yeah.
And yeah, we will get hail, and like I said, in the mountains it will snow. But that's like rare chance.
Yeah, imagine getting hail and not snow. Gross.
Yep, got that. Darn.
Well, everyone, we just had our 10th session yesterday. 10, number 10. Light, can you believe it?
It's amazing.
It's crazy because if the sessions in between, like a week is like, oh my God, I can't wait for it to come again. But the fact that we've been doing this for 10 weeks already is kind of crazy. It doesn't feel like that.
Yeah, can you imagine doing this for 2 years?
Yeah, I mean, maybe if it already has been 10 weeks and feels like a month. But yeah, episode 10, we saw some combat, which we'll get into. We saw some character drama. We saw a bit of a happy moment and a not so happy moment. We saw a little bit of everything. It was a good episode.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna turn the music off. I feel like that most of my recently started game. Yeah, I get that. So, Light, do you want to give us a little recap as to what led up to where we were in this episode?
See, well, off the bat, somebody appeared and asking for the gem that they got. And it just was a simple request. And they basically wasn't demanding until somebody decided to rock the boat a little bit.
They weren't demanding? It was a demand from the start. What do you mean?
It was not demanding. It was just say, oh, you heard it. You can hear it and go back to the frickin' VOD.
If somebody's like, give me that, that's a demand. She didn't say please. And we were all like, excuse you? Who the fuck are you, lady?
How about she's elemental queen,
Yeah. I mean, elemental queen, or so she says. It'd be funny if she is, and she's just like corrupted, or she's just angry at the world, having teenage angst. And like we're all dismissing it. It's gonna be very funny. But Yeah, she just came at us sideways, and we weren't about that. We were having a rough day, and then she decided to choke out Celeste.
Hmm. Which it was interesting because the demands on both sides, um, yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, I think like Victor's approach was you want this so damn bad, but what if it doesn't exist? What what is like what are you going to do about it? You know, like I think he was trying to see who had the upper hand, and
Hmm.
obviously the person that has somebody's life in their hand has the upper hand.
Hmm.
Um but it started getting a little intense. Were you
Hmm.
surprised as to how that developed?
Um, yes and no. Um, I will say this. Um, People do hear when they see, and there will be questions.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um
Find out on Sunday.
I mean, yeah, no, I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of questions and stuff. Um this elemental queen was a really interesting character that we ran into her first thing in session. She was very abrasive and very angy. Um and with some of us being like freshly almost out of death. um and a lot of tensions, it just kind of escalated quickly. I don't think it was handled the best way, but I also completely understand why it was handled the way that it was handled. Um, because you, if we came into this place because somebody hired us to come get this, why would a random person just come up to us and ask us for the thing that we're collecting? It's very weird. She gave us no background except for she's the elemental queen. She was not very nice. Um and I think she approached us very incorrectly as to what our mood and our mindset was at the moment. And then we reciprocated incorrectly. And it was crazy because it could have been bad for Celeste. Um but
Hmm.
everybody's just doing their part, I guess.
In the background, I was doing dice rolls.
You were doing what, Rose?
Dice rolls.
Oh, for like her and Celeste's.
Hmm.
Yeah. It
It was definitely interesting conversation with all that. I don't want to spoil too much, so it definitely
yeah, no,
will
there's
probably be like for the following Monday.
I mean, yeah, there's still so much that we don't know in character, so it's hard to talk about. Um and there's still so much development as far as the repercussions of that and what exactly it all means. Um but it's gonna be interesting. I like either way, good or bad. I think it's gonna be pretty damn interesting.
Hmm.
Uh,
Oh, for sure.
and then the captain came and basically saved the day, kind of. So what happened to the captain and them during the fight? What were they doing?
Okay. Uh, so, some of the anytime I do like a pregame or session stuff, I do stuff behind the scenes
Hmm.
pre-game because I can't do it during it.
Right.
So in my head, I was just picturing them um, doing their own little session, their own little thing as I do. So basically, when everyone went their separate areas, they actually went like downstairs and they had their own puzzle, which it was uh kind of like Indiana Jones where they had to go down the hallway and all of a sudden like stuff coming out of the walls and stuff.
Hmm.
And so there were darts. And then, eventually they also end up in a room, um, which it was I always thought, this would be like a simple puzzle kinda thing. So just imagine like in kinda like a table, like an altar, and, taking like the different like, fragments or pieces to a puzzle, which was the phases of the moon. And once they put together, um, these corrupted water elementals came. And so by the time they finished and, basically came and or was it Victor that contacted them? Yeah, I think first.
Yeah.
Um, Basically she warned about them. And um then she said, we'll be on their way, so they had to backtrack everything and go down where you guys went and, finding um, the hole. And so I mean that you gotta think about it, that will take time to get back from, point to B to point B, so that's why it took them time or longer time to get to you guys. And, um, then, they reached you, and from her point of view, uh, listening to this person, and of course, seeing Celeste, um, being basically choked, she just pulled the trigger. And, then when, the elemental queen started to melt away, that's when Glenn, um, said, "There's more." So there was more behind them as they were coming.
I see. Yeah, it is kind of interesting to think about it in like different sets of parties having their own session. Um, because
Mhm,
that kind of puts you into perspective of like, think about all the things that we're going through. They're probably going through similar things or different things that that's keeping them tied up, or there could be people that are hurt. There could be people that might not make it out. So it's interesting to think about it that way, and I'm not really sure that I've ever really thought about it that way. Um, but it makes sense.
mhm, and you also gotta think about, like, um, some campaigns, they have their modulars or they have their homebrew and all that stuff, and they might just concentrate on, the adventurers or whoever, the team or whatever you wanna call them. Some people actually think even further than that because this is such a big, vast world, where I had you guys basically, make up characters and then make up, you know, their towns or cities, and that's now in game. So I have stuff going behind the scenes right now. Nothing is hold still. It is flowing. So you never know what's gonna happen. You never know if Phalo gets attacked again or, you know, Victor's, home gets attacked or, you know, uh, whoever, so on and so forth. Um
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, right? Like it's easy to get so caught up in to what you are currently doing, or I think it's yeah, like what they said, it's so difficult for a DM to think about all this stuff because we don't. Like we as characters just live our characters. Like that's
Mhm.
just our lives. We don't have to think about anybody else's problems or anybody else's lives or anything. unless it is, like our family or something like that that we have concern for. But
Mhm.
other than that, we still don't control those people, or we don't control their story. So for things like this, like for like the DM, it's like you have to have all these storylines playing in the background. Um because the world keeps spinning for everyone.
Mhm. Exactly, yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty cool. And but so we got into this little fight with what the hell were they? Disgusting things that are always getting on Voren's clothes.
Basically, they were slash are slash or whatever, water elementals, but they took on more of a aesthetic forms. So it's like, yeah, so that's why anytime somebody who's mainly got, hit them, they get automatically acid damage.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, as far as like Warren's concerned, he's just like, why does everything have to get something on me? Why can't I kill something without having some sort of juices on me?
Somebody clip that, what he just said. Anyways.
um, but yeah, so we got into a fight. We started off strong. Boy, a couple of us did some good damage right off
Mhm.
the gate. Victor, Nyx, even Minerva was fucking shit up. And then it wasn't our turn. And everything
Nope.
started hurting.
Yes, I think in that game, did they must have did at least 5 nat 20s.
That's
I think
wild.
it was like, yeah, and I was just kinda like anytime that popped up, and I was like, "Oof." What what's the number? Shit. Mind you, people who do play D&D and all that stuff, if you do look up water elementals and you just roll for their stuff, it's very high damage, so I had to nerf them because I think one of the elementals had 34 damage plus,
Sheesh.
like, 10 acid, so I had to nerf everything. It's it blew my mind. I was like, "Wow, these are baby ones,"
Yeah. Yeah.
because there was no way.
I mean, there are those things that you kind of have to pivot in real time.
Mhm.
But it happens, right?
Yeah. It does.
And we would have gotten fucked up. We kind of did get fucked up.
Mhm,
Um, but we made it somehow.
mhm. Between Minerva and the air elemental
Hmm.
that Celeste kinda summoned, but she basically had something in her hand and it fell and it cracked, so
Yeah.
creating this air elemental.
Yeah, no, that was definitely kind of clutch when it came down to it.
Mhm,
But but we lived. A lot of us got hurt. Minerva pretty, yeah, stepped it up with the healing, and she was even doing damage, and
mhm.
she was doing great. And I'm glad that we had one of us, which was Euphemia, like go directly for the egg. Because I bet you some of us would have just focused on the fight and wouldn't have even thought about the egg.
Yeah. That
So
that would've been interesting too.
yeah. Um, but I'm not sure if anybody would have even like. I'm not sure there was anybody in the room like those elemental things or those bad things that would have gone for the egg, But
One did.
but to like steal it or to just grab it.
Y Don't know
Mhm.
because, Euphemia actually got to it before its turn.
Yeah, yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, it's I guess we have to everybody think about their actions, literally. So then we managed to get out. We Did anything else happen until no, we met up with the captain, right? And
Yes.
um got on the ship and sailed out, which is an experience. A couple of people in the party enjoyed the underwater sailing,
Yes.
which sounds terrifying to me. Like IRL, that sounds like a terrifying experience.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we've all watched like Discovery Channel, and we all seen like the underwater. So you gotta imagine that, but
Yeah, no.
probably darker, a little bit dark.
No, I'm gonna pass on that. I'm gonna do exactly as the rest of us did and just went to lay down. Um, and then we got into the conversation with Victor and Warren,
Mhm,
which I wasn't sure how it was going to go, but then after discussing the whole teeth thing with Victor, I feel like Warren just kind of had to show him at that point because there was only so much that they can talk about it,
mhm.
and Warren didn't know what would be revealed on that paper, you know?
That's true.
So if he hid that or and it said something like, "Hey, see attached teeth." I'm gonna-
Be like, "What attached teeth?" And the
no,
whole entire time, "I don't know."
I don't know. They forgot to attach it. You never try to send an email and forget the attachment. so,
Oh, man, can you imagine? Okay, go ahead.
so yeah, so that's what Brick decided to just. Oh, you know what? There's also something else, and that conversation, I wasn't sure how that was going to go, and
Mhm,
I also still don't know if Victor played all his cards during that conversation.
mhm.
Um, and it's not something that I'll know until it's revealed, if anything. But the, I'm not sure if he showed the like entire concern that he probably felt. He did show concern, but he reacted very calmly to it, and that to me was interesting.
Yeah, yeah, very much so.
So we'll see how that develops. But we got the invitation, and we were able to read it. But now we don't know where that leads. So we'll just
I would
have to.
say, um, for the arcane checks, he was very lucky. It was
He
somewhat
was.
high DC. It was a 16 to
Yeah.
beat,
I
and
think
he
he got
had one
18 the lowest.
18.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lowest was 18, the other ones were 20. I think the highest was like a 26 or something like that, or 28, and then the other one was like around 20 t but he was very, very lucky because it would have been very bad.
Oh boy. Yeah. So, but we did it. Now we know that the collective is having the midnight gala, and
Mhm,
we have to figure out more information about it because this can't be good. This is probably the reason they were going after the egg. I'm just speculating, of course.
mhm.
This is this could potentially be dangerous for like if he discovers that they're selling like vampire teeth and stuff like that. Like I'm pretty sure he would feel like he needs to warn his family or his people.
That's true.
So there's a lot of different stories that could branch off from that, and I'm kind of looking forward to it. So we'll see what happens. I Warren made a drunk joke that he was gonna be Lord Warren and he was gonna go to this party, but there's no fucking way. Like it might as well just be Victor.
What do you mean?
Like I'm sure Warren could speak his way through and out and probably fake his way all the way along. But it might as well just be him because he doesn't have to fake it. you know, he doesn't
I mean,
have
there's
to.
there's other ladies in the party, so.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. We have a bard that can charm her way through.
Mhm.
Hmm. So we'll see where that develops. But then after that, we had a very serious discussion over dinner, like in English. I need to get this all out of my system because I have a voiceover to record later. So just get all the word vomit out.
Yeah.
um and yeah, so it got a little bit intense again with the conversation we were having, people sharing their feelings or how they feel misinterpreted or misjudged. Um and I don't think that conversation is over between this group. Like it's just I think it's going to continue to happen at least for now, you know.
Mhm.
I still feel like it's too early for everything to go smoothly with this group. We're still only on the surface. We're still just getting to know each other here. So it's like, who are we kidding? We're going to piss each other off.
What do you mean?
But you dodged a bullet. In the conversation. Yeah. Um, and like Voren was pretty much like, I acknowledge what you're saying. I'm not sorry for saying it.
Mhm.
Um, because he's not. He still feels like what he said applies. I don't ask permission for anybody to steal things. Neither does Magpie. So how is that any better? You know. But I do see the point of you could bring a curse upon our group. But who knows? You know, Magpie could pick up the wrong biscuit one day and get us cursed.
Who
It,
knows?
who knows? With Light's twisted mind.
What do you about? Have a good imagination. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Um. But that was resolved. We had some drinks. Voren is not a drinker. I think this is the first time in the campaign that Voren actually drinks alcohol. And it got to him pretty quickly. For the most part, he will like drink juice or just drink water. And so then things got very drunk very quickly. Everybody just started downing drinks and passing drinks uh, and then we decided to take the party up to Magpie because she wasn't there.
Mhm.
And we made the right decision. The Minerva and Euphemia were like, that's not a good idea. We probably shouldn't. The rest of us were like, fuck it. Let's go disturb Magpie. And she looked like she had a bit of fun. How did you like that situation? Like,
Oh no, you guys. It was fun. It was good. It was like the first time you guys actually bonded,
mm-hmm.
and it was really good. But then something else happened.
Yeah, I think nothing like near death experiences to bring people together.
Mhm.
Um, so we did bond, but then just to hear the chaos, oh yeah, yeah, you should. There was a lot of drunk shenanigans. I think at some point somebody threatened to jump in the water, or we should have just jumped in the water. Everybody just stripped
Mm.
down naked, just jump in the water. The captain would
Oh
have
boy.
come up like, "What the fuck are you guys doing?"
What is this?
But but I think the better idea would have probably come from Light saying something like, "There's a bunch of jellyfish in the water. You're all being stung," because that's the kind of person Light is.
What do you mean? How rude.
It's like everybody's having fun, jumps in the water. Light's like, roll for initiative. You make sharks and but yeah, but then after that, we decide to break and get some rest. But before that, we were given some insight into something else that happened with another party member that I thought was just resting because she was almost dead. So, do you want to tell us a little bit about what was going on there?
Well, yes, people do rest, but people also need to eat. Um, so Slushy got up and, she had her bag at hand and she, was walking down the hallway. Basically, you have to exit out and basically kind of like turn around to find the the food hall or whatever you want to call it. And she heard laughing and happy birthday, and basically she heard the whole conversation. Um, they were having a good time, and this, it's just one of those things that kind of like hurt a little bit, but at the same time, you know, uh, she almost died herself, and she went back to her room with the egg and basically kind of had a conversation with herself or to the egg,
Yeah, like speaking
saying
at the
that,
egg. Yeah.
yeah, basically saying that maybe we should leave. Maybe I should leave. And she thought about it. She thought she had an item, which the item wasn't there. And then she heard a knock on the door, and it was Magpie. They had a conversation. And now she's still on the fence.
Yeah. I think it's interesting that because it's all a matter of like perspective, right? Like she heard the conversation, she felt left out or whatever. But that's her point of view. And like she doesn't know about people asking about her, people showing concern, people checking in on her, and that's things that while not knowing still influence your decision, right? Like you don't know that,
Mhm.
but that could make a difference if you did. Um so it's really interesting to see that kind of thing because a lot of us the conversation we had was like, well, we should let her rest, right? She needs her rest.
Mhm.
And it was never let's exclude her or let's do things without her. But because it is perspective, she doesn't know any of that. So
Exactly.
it's really cool development to see. Because that's exactly how it would happen in real life, right? It's like you can
Mhm.
only react based on the things that you know, that you see, or that you hear.
Mhm. Exactly.
So I'm looking forward to seeing how that develops as well. But I think the fact that Magpie went to check in on her while she was having
Mhm.
those thoughts and that conversation, maybe that helps a bit.
Maybe.
Who knows? Maybe she'll get a bunch of drunks in her room, like, like at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my god.
Are you feeling better yet? Do you want a drink?
Jeez. I mean, 3 of you are, like, smashed. So
I I mean, without spoiling anything, I don't think Vorin is ever going to drink again. Like,
Who knows?
who knows? But like, when he wakes up tomorrow, he's like, "Why? Why the fuck?"
Oh, yeah, trust me, you're all gonna roll to see, and I
Hangover
can't
RP.
wait.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like this is why I don't drink. There was something interesting that I was gonna do too, but I didn't see a way to put it in there. Was to bring Sage up.
Mhm.
Like drunk Vaughn was going to say something about Sage, um, but things were moving too fast.
Mhm. That would've been interesting.
Yeah, I mean, he did kind of like in a drunken rant drop in. I don't know who picked it up or not, but it's like, uh, well, like to start at the beginning, I wasn't wanted as a child,
Mhm.
and that's something he's never said out loud. But I don't know if anybody would take that nugget of information because he said it as a joke, you know?
Yeah.
Like say it in
And
jest so people will probably dismiss it.
yeah, I mean, it's definitely, like, one of those things, like, I noticed that, I know we are basically a big group, but people
Mhm.
do drop hints.
Mhm.
And there's people like me, even though I'm DM, my past games that I played in, I sometimes hold on to that, and it could be months until I bring that back up.
Right. I like to do that
And
too. It's hard to remember all
yeah,
the things, but yeah.
oh yeah, but it's just one of those things, and it's kind of cool because then people really like, wait a second, you remember like 6 months ago in game time,
Mhm.
because sometimes games are faster, sometimes they are slow. But it's just one of those things because, it sometimes it might peg them or maybe something happened during, whatever session and it's brought back up again. So it's pretty cool. I like that. And maybe people will keep it in their pocket.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's kind of nice to always do things like um another good thing to do in like RP is saying things like you notice or you see this instead of
Hmm.
because we don't always apply um everything in our narrative. It's kind of like in Conan, right? Like we add the description above us because we don't talk about it, but we want to put it out there for RP. So I try to do that as much as possible when I can. Like I said, oh, like Warren's still bloodied and like things like that. Like just as a description and anybody can pick it up or not, but it's like it's there.
Hmm. That is true.
But yeah, that was pretty much the end of it. Like we got through the recap quickly, but these events took their time. I mean, as everybody knows, combat takes time in D&D.
Hmm.
And then drunk RP takes time.
Yes, it does.
But I did also try to heal Warren after the fight. I did see it. I did. Like you asked if he was hurt or something like that. But everybody was busy drinking and shit. Warren's like, I could heal myself. Goes in his room and like bandages himself badly. No, you didn't get ignored. We were just drinking. But yeah. So Miss Light, how do you like where everything is going? And did anything in last session surprise you? as far as like reactions or things that you thought would go one way and went another?
Hmm. I mean, I definitely thought everything went well. Um, you know, how I think of like multiple ways. Um, or things, could work out differently or, whatever. It was definitely interesting with Victor. Um, basically kind of like, I'm going to hold the spell, I'm going to blast her, which he has every right, you know. But there's also some things that eh, I'm trying not to give too much away. Consequences. There's always consequences. Um, but I also felt like, there's more character development with everybody. And like you said, like people who uh came out and like during that fight with Victor and Minerva, um, Vaughn had good hits. Um, with the the thought of going and get the egg from just in case whatever's going to happen. Pulling Celeste into a room trying to keep her safe. There's and of course everything could have been differently, but
Mhm.
the fat water elemental was in front of the door and also surrounded like two, three of you almost.
Right.
And it was like one of those things is like if I do move away, you know, attack of opportunity, how much? Which Euphemia definitely felt that. And then of course the whole conversation, which I know there's like Euphemia's like waiting, I think waiting for a conversation where everybody is there. To where you guys drank,
Mhm.
you know, to whatever it meant to calm your nerves to because some of you did have the near death experience. Um, and we'll see what happens next.
Yeah, it's all really interesting because you can just like just like in real life, you can plan whatever the hell you want to plan, but that doesn't mean everyone else is in your plan.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
Anybody can do anything differently that will throw off your plan, and that doesn't go just for you as a DM, but just like us as players as well. Um, I can say, well, I want to talk to Minerva, but if Minerva is nowhere to be seen, then that's what the fuck can I do?
Hmm.
So it's really interesting to see all the dynamics and stuff like that. But from day one that we were all like treating each other like strangers, I think we've come a long way. We've we were very dismissive of each other at first. We still are like in some ways, but I know especially Warren, like he didn't want to tell anybody anything. Like, I don't know you people. He never even told people or he never agreed that he had the same dream as everyone else until like later on. Um, because he's like, why the fuck do you guys want to know? Like, who are you?
Hmm.
but but I mean, it was dumb for him to keep it. But it's just something that everyone kind of deals with in one way or another. But I think it's been cool, man. It's been awesome to see all the development.
Oh yeah, for sure. And there's always and more to come.
Oh, I'm sure. So, what are you gonna throw at us next week?
Mhm.
Damn, worth a shot.
You try, fail.
Yeah, that was a nat one.
Yes, it was.
Well, is anything else that you want to talk about or mention that we may have forgotten?
Um, hmm. I had questions, and now they're out the door. I
Aw,
should write this down. I did. I did. What
yeah.
was it? I don't remember.
Next week we'll bring somebody else back on. We'll start the round robin again.
Mhm.
Um, it'd be cool maybe for 15 or something to just have everyone on, or for 20. Oof, session 20.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think, like, like watching Critical Role or anything like that, I'm like, this is too much content to keep up with. But then, like, I'm in a game and we're 10 episodes in, and I'm talking about 20 episodes in. So it's like, maybe it's not so much. Like, you lose
I
track of
mean,
time.
it's one of those things because people are always like, "Oh, I can't wait. Is it Sunday yet? Is it, this?" And the next thing you know, Sunday's right here.
Hmm.
So, yeah, it's nice. I'm glad that people are enjoying this. What the story is, and of course, players are having their own story. Oh, I do have a question.
All right.
This is more of so when the paper revealed that the Gala and the collective, what were your thoughts?
I I want to say that it made sense, but I'll also confess that I didn't think about it. It
Mhm.
was almost like this is exactly what it should have been, like I should have thought about it, but then I'm like, no, I didn't even think about it. Like it, I think as Vorin, he just had it with him for so long, and he didn't know what he was gonna do with it, that he just kept dismissing it, out of sight, out of mind.
Mhm.
Um, but my thoughts when we did reveal what it was like, oh shit, um, this is not just gonna be some fun party.
Oh yeah.
Well, we all know what happened last time that we had a side session and we went to a party.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? No, but I'm excited for that role play though. I'm very excited to see what happens because there's so many things about the collective that we don't exactly know. Vorin has
Mhm.
some background knowledge just because of what he does, but other than that, it's like these people are this you know group or organization for a reason. They're good at what they do for a reason, and that's being secretive, and that's staying out of trouble, staying out of the light, and still getting away with doing whatever the hell they do. So it's like, oh boy, it's gonna be challenging. Question is, who's gonna wrangle and strong arm up? We'll see. But yeah, no, that was really cool. And now it's like, okay, well, do we all need something to auction? Can we go in as a group? Uh, do we have to go paired up? Like how is this gonna work? What time is it? When is it?
Yeah.
What is the attire?
Exactly. I mean, it's probably fancy because it's a gala,
Right.
so
Is it a masquerade? I can't hide my horns.
how do tieflings do? I mean, hmm.
Yeah, no, it's
Hmm.
it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome. Can't wait. I and I like that it was revealed to everyone else in a drunken state. Everybody else was like, "What? What are you talking about?" The
Mhm.
gala. But yeah, but I think that pretty much covers it, Miss Light.
I think so. Do you have any questions?
You're not gonna answer my questions, so
Well, you already know those answers because you know I'm not gonna even say anything.
Right. The Fang bit was the best part. Yeah, I know, right? So much mystery to that. Like, what does it mean? Who had these? And then it's also kind of sus on Warren's part that he was like, I don't know who it was. But he doesn't. Maybe he was told to steal from that person.
Who
Who knows?
knows?
Who knows? But yeah, I think that pretty much covers it for today. So thank you, Miss Light, for hanging out. Episode
Always.
10, we got through it. No, I mean, oh, was mimicking the fangs with his finger. The thing is, Bourne has kind of sharp teeth too, but they're all kind of sharp. So, like, you don't have fangs if they all kind of look like fangs.
Oh, no, we forgot something.
Oh,
The
the
whole
monk.
entire conversation, there was a conversation that they were picking the names. And for some
Oh
odd
my god,
reason,
yes, the name conversation.
Victor, out of everybody, kept making monkey names.
He is still mocking the spirits. But he was drunk. Um,
He wasn't drunk during the time he was making
the evil
those names.
monkeys.
Yeah.
The evil monkeys, the undead monkeys. I still think the monkey's paw could be good. Um, because it seems
Oh
like
my
we're not
goodness.
a lucky bunch. But the red twine, was it red twine?
I think it was like red something. And
Be careful
I
what you
can't
wish
remember
for.
what it
Yeah,
was.
exactly, Jack. The red strands, the faith weavers, the faithful eight, the dirty dozen, the baker's dozen. That one was a joke. um, what else did we think of? I like all of those. Yeah,
Um,
there were actually some pretty decent names that we were all just
mhm.
kind of spitting out. I said the hateful eight also. Fateful eight. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what we're probably gonna have to get one of Light's NPCs to name us.
Meg tried to. I don't remember what she
She
said, but she
didn't
tried to.
try.
Dude,
She's a
she's been on
dick.
the boat. She's hungry,
Yeah.
and y'all are like, "What should we name each other or name our group?"
Mm-hmm.
Mhm, mhm.
Oh, wait, there was one called Blood and Wine.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. Disciples of the cat.
Ah, yes.
No.
Yes.
We should just call our team fucking Glenn.
Dotsy.
Dutsy. Fucking Gale. Tell
He did
Gale
not
he's not invited.
bully. Oh my god.
Uh,
And then Glenn, tell Glenn. I know Glenn, then he switched to the Gale.
yeah, yeah. Because he was like, I thought his name was Gale. Oh, yeah.
That's meta.
That's meta.
Mhm.
It's a meta meme now. Fucking Gale. I was actually gonna tell a story about Gale as well.
Oh my god.
When we were having the deep conversation, I
Mhm.
was like, well, you know, sometimes people do certain things not out of like malice or anything, but it just makes you hate them. Like I know this guy named Gail. It's like I kept having reoccurring nightmares about this fucking guy named Gail that would not want to jump to certain spots.
Oh, I mean, you could yeah, that could happen. That could happen. That could still happen.
Fucking guy, man. All right, guys. But thank you all for hanging out. This was our episode 10 recap. We'll be back next week with episode 11. Catch us live for our episode 11 session on Sunday, 6:30 EST. It's going to be interesting because it's going to be a holiday weekend. I wonder if anybody's going to be traveling or anything. It's probably something we should talk about.
That's true.
But yeah, 6:30 EST on Sunday, and then we'd like to do our recaps on Mondays at 6:30 EST, but those can and may change around depending on if we need to move it around to have anybody on.
Mhm.
But thank you guys for hanging out. There is a full YouTube playlist with the sessions and the recaps if you want to get caught up on YouTube. So do that. Thank you again, Light, and thank you everybody in chat. Have a good night.
For sure. Take care.